Hello, welcome to today's edition of the Daf. I'm going to do Daf 29, 29b, of Arakhin, and also gives a quick introduction to Perek 9. According to the years after the Jubilee year, you shall buy from your neighbour. According to the years of the crops, he shall sell to you. According to the multitude of the years shall you increase the price thereof, and according to the fewness of the years you should diminish the price of it, for the number of crops he sells to you. Verse 25, 15 to 16. If your brother becomes poor and sells part of his ancestral land, his kinsman that is next to him shall come and shall redeem that which his brother has sold. And if a person has no one to redeem it, and he prospers and finds sufficient means to redeem it, then he calculates the years of its sale and returns the remainder to the man to whom he sold it, and he shall return it to his possession. 25 to 27. If a man sells a dwelling house in a walled city, then he will redeem it until the completion of the year after it is sold. 4 days shall he have the right of redemption, and if it is not redeemed until the passage of a full year, in the house as in the walled city shall stand in possession of one who bought the perpetuity throughout his generation, and shall not go out in the Jubilee year, but the houses of the courtyard that have no wall around them shall be reckoned with the fields of the country. They may be redeemed, and they shall go out in the Jubilee year. Leviticus 25, 29 to 31. But as for the city of the Levites, houses in the cities in their possession, the Levites have a perpetual right of redemption, and if a man purchased from the Levites, then the house was sold in the city of his possession shall go in the Jubilee year, for the houses of the city of the Levites are their possession among the children of Israel. But the field of the open land surrounding the city will not be sold, and that is their perpetual possession. This is 25, 32 to 34. Command the children of Israel that they give unto the Levites of the inheritance of the possession cities to dwell in, and open land round about the cities that you shall give unto the Levites. Numbers 35, 2. In connection with the discussion in the previous chapter with regard to the consecration of fields in Eretz Yisrael, the final chapter of chapter Arakhin discusses the sale of houses and fields in Eretz Yisrael. Although such sales do not involve the consecration of property, there are very similarities in the halacha. The Torah states that one who sells his ancestral field is permitted and even commanded to redeem it from the buyer. So several questions may be posed with regard to this matter. May the seller redeem the field at any point in time, effectively removing the buyer from the property against his will? Or is there a minimum period during which the field remains in the buyer's possession? Furthermore, is the ability of the seller to redeem the field dependent on the buyers having an opportunity to derive benefit from it? Additionally, may the seller redeem only his portion from his portion of the field. The Torah also states that the sale of land in Eretz Yisrael is effective only until the Jubilee year, at which point it turns to its original owner. Consequently, when the seller redeems this field from the buyer, he deducts a per annum payment, reaching the buyer in the possession of the field, and returns the remainder. Several questions arise with regard to this halach as well. Is the per annum payment determined according to the original sale price, or according to the current valuation of the field? Furthermore, if the value of the field changed, and the buyer sold the field to another individual, how much does the owner give to that second individual? The majority try to deal with the sale of houses of walled cities. The Torah says that the halacha in this case differs from the sale of a field. The seller may redeem his house only within 1 year of its sale, but if he does not redeem it, then the original owner in the Jubilee year. The seller may redeem his house only within 1 year of its sale, but if he does not redeem it, then the house becomes a permanent possession of the buyer and does not return to the original owner in the Jubilee year. Several issues require clarification. How does one define 1 year from the sale of the house? Which houses include the category of dwelling in a dwelling house in a walled city? Does include a house surrounded by a wall? What about cities that were once walled but they were destroyed and subsequently rebuilt? We cover details of a halacha of sale the sale of houses of the courtyards, which are not treated as houses of walled cities but as fields. It must be determined whether the state of such houses is precisely like that of fields, or whether this comparison applies only to some of the halachot of houses in unwalled courtyards. Likewise, the definition of such courtyards is required. As cities of the Levites, which the Jewish people were commanded to give to the Levites for their inheritance, operate according to a different set of halachot. Unlike making the houses in walled cities, the houses in these cities are returned to their owners in the Jubilee year. The question arises, does this right apply only to members of the tribe of Levi? What is halacha in a case where an Israelite inherited a house in the cities of the Levites from his maternal grandfather who was a Levite? Furthermore, the right of Levites to always redeem the property apparently contradicts the explicit prohibition of Torah selling the fields of the open land about the city. The precise meaning of this prohibition must therefore be clarified. So now we go into Daf 26 Amud B. The Mishnah. Hamelcha es sedehu b'shas hayovel enu mutar legor Pachos Bishtei Shonim Shnema. The Misbah Shnei Tevuos Yim Koloch. One who sells a field during a period when the Jubilee is in effect is not permitted to redeem it less than 2 years after the sale, and it is stated that according to the number of years of the crops shall sell to you. Leviticus 25:15. The plural from years indicates a minimum of 2 years. So the footnote here meaning 2 years. In the mutar legol pachos bishtei shonim, it is not permitted to redeem it less than 2 years. Some commentaries suggest that the Torah imposes these restrictions to prevent one from selling his property without due consideration, under the assumption that he can reclaim the property at any time and then enjoy the crop. That's from the same Arakhin Daf. Once the 2 years have elapsed, the seller or owners may redeem the field even if the buyer does not acquiesce. That's the Rambam. Since in any case, the field would be returned to the seller at the end of the Jubilee year. The amount the seller must return to the buyer is calculated by dividing the sum he originally received by the number of years remaining at the time of the sale until the next Jubilee year. Then deducts from the sum he originally received the payment for each year that elapsed before he redeemed the field and returns the remaining to the Rashi. So maintain that although the case of the sale may not redeem the field until 2 years have elapsed, if one gave his field to another as a gift, he will redeem immediately, and that's the Mincha Chinuch. If one of those years was a year of blight, what is a year? The year of blight. Haisha Shnei Shidafod. The blight referred to here is caused by a dry eastern wind that causes the crop to dry up and the field to fall out of the grade. The plant of the blight or mildew affects the entire region. If the immediate affects a specific area, the year counts as part of his tally. See Bava Seal 106a. Or mildew, if it was the sabbatical year, the buyer is unable to find benefit for the field, that year does not count as part of the tally. The owner must wait this year before redeeming the field. If the buyer ploughed the field but did not sow it, or if he left it fallow, that year counts as part of his tally. One who sells his field during a period when the Jubilee is in effect cannot redeem it until exactly 2 years to the day have elapsed since the day of the sale. One cannot redeem the field before this time, even if the buyer wishes to return the field. Furthermore, the buyer must be able to consume 2 crops during the 2 years. Consequently, if one of the years is a sabbatical year or a year of blight or mildew, that year does not count as part of the tally. If the buyer leaves the field fallow for 1 year and consumes the produce of another year, but in 1 year ploughs the field without sowing it in another year, both years count as part of the tally. That's the Rabbit Sefer Zerayim, Yochshmit over 11:9-11. And it was fit to produce a crop. Rabbi Eliezer says, if the owner of the field sold it to the buyer before Rosh Hashanah, one sells his field when it was full of produce, and redeemed after 2 years of elapsed, he cannot demand that the buyer return the field full of produce as it was at the time of sale. Therefore, if the field was sold before Rosh Hashanah when it was full of produce, and it is redeemed 2 years later, the buyer can consume 3 crops from the field produce for 2 years, or the seller deducts from the payment that he received only the value of 2 years worth of crop. The law is in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer. It has not been saved for the vine, Yochshmit to be over 11:6. And the field is full of produce. Rabbi Eliezer's statement does not contradict the previous clause in the Mishnah. He merely clarifies that the seller must wait 2 full years before he can renew the field, irrespective of the number of crops yielded during that time. Any conduct growth during those 2 years belongs to the buyer. Rabbi Eliezer refers to a case where the field was sold immediately before Shul in order to emphasize the fact that the 2 years are not calendar years, rather they are counted from day to day until the arrival of the date of the sale in the subsequent year. The Gemara earlier in 18b this from the verse, according to the number of years of the crops. In this case 25-50, the plural term crops is superfluous, and the verse only indicated that at least 2 years have elapsed. The Gemara therefore derives from this saying that not all of the crops for the 2 years belong to the buyer, even if the number of crops is greater than the number of years. This is possible only if the years are counted from day to day. And the owner did the field for 2 years, the buyer consumes from that field produce 3 crops in 2 years. Although he received the field with his crop, he is not required to return it in the same state. The Mishnah states that one who sells his field during a period of the Jubilee years, in effect, is not permitted to redeem it less than 2 years after the sale. The Gemara knows the Mishnah does not teach that one cannot redeem his field before 2 years have elapsed. Rather, the Mishnah teaches that one is not permitted to redeem it. Evidently, the tenet of the Mishnah holds that there is also prohibition involved in the matter, such that it is prohibited even to wrestle dealers before the buyer or to persuade them to sell back the field. The Gemara continues, and it is not necessary to state this with regard to the seller, as he said the violation upon the mitzvah, as is the according to the review of the crops. He shall sell to the mitzvah 25-15 in a plural for years, indicating a minimum of 2 years. And even the buyer stands in violation upon the mitzvah, as we require the fulfillment of another mitzvah from the same verse, according to the number of years after Jubilee year shall you buy for your neighbour. And if the buyer returns the field before the 2 years elapsed, the mitzvah is not fulfilled. It was stated with regard to one who sells his field during the Jubilee year itself. She'ein b'chura eino din shelo timacheh. The transaction was evidently conducted in error. Had the buyer been aware of the fact that he would be unable to maintain ownership of the field or even a short time, that the sale would not stand after Jubilee year, he would not have paid for the field. Considering to time should be 5-3. Rav says the field is sold in principle, but it does not leave the buyer's possession immediately. His money is not refunded, and Shmuel says it is not sold at all. The Gemara elaborates, what is the reason of Shmuel? Shmuel derives his opinion via a fortiori inference. And what? If the field is already sold for the Jubilee year, leave the possession of the buyer in the Jubilee year, it is not logical that a field that was not yet sold is not sold at all during the Jubilee year. That was all footnote before. If one sells his field during the Jubilee year, the sale is invalid, the buyer's money is refunded. This ruling is according to the opinion of Shmuel, and his opinion is the outlined by the Gemara of Sefer Zerayim in Chashmit V'Yom 11:11. See the reference there. And the Gemara asked, and according to Rav, do we not say that one may derive a fortiori inference in this way? When this is taught in the Bible, one might have thought that a person may sell his daughter as a maidservant, even as beta. The Torah states that a girl who is less than 12 years old can be sold as a maidservant by her father, Exodus 21:7-11. A Hebrew maidservant can be designated to become the wife of her master or of his son. If he also does not marry her, she is emancipated either when she reaches the age of majority, when 6 years have elapsed at the time of her purchase, upon her purchase's death, or with the end of the Jubilee year, whichever of these occurs first, when she is a young woman. Hebrew maidservant is a minor girl who is sold by her father. He can sell her only when she is a minor. When she reaches the age of 12 and develops 2 pubic hairs, she is considered a young woman, and her father can no longer sell her, as stated in the Bible. I would say for Kenyan here, 4:1. You can say that the following of fortiori infers to reject such penalty. And what if a daughter who is already sold now leaves her master upon becoming a young woman? It is not logical that a daughter who was not sold, who is not capable of being sold once she becomes a young woman. Evidently, one may derive this type of the fortiori inference. Why then does Rav disagree with Shmuel? The Gemara answers that the cases are not comparable. There, with regard to a maid servant, once you continue woman, she is not ever sold again. Here, the field is returned to the seller of the Jubilee and may later be sold again. And therefore, maintain the woman may not derive the alphabet authority or influence. The Gemara raises objection to Rav's opinion from a biter. The verse states, according to the number of years after the Jubilee, you shall buy from your neighbor. Leviticus 25:15. The term after the Jubilee teaches that a field may be sold in the year adjacent to the Jubilee year. For where is it derived that a field may be sold in a year that is separated from the Jubilee year? The verse states, according to the multitude of the years, shall you increase the price thereof, and according to the fewness of the years, shall you diminish the price of it. Verse 25:16. The verse teaches that one may sell a field even after several years have elapsed since the last Jubilee year. The Bible continues, and if the Jubilee year and in the Jubilee itself, one may not sell his field, and if it's sold, it is not sold. The Bible clearly sees the contradictory of Rav. The Gemara responds, Rav could say to you, the Bible means that the field is not sold for the number of years of the crops, and it does not remain in the buyer's possession for a minimum of 2 years, rather it's sold in principle, and then immediately leaves the buyer's possession. The Gemara objects, but if the field is indeed sold, let it stand in the buyer's possession until after the Jubilee year, and after the Jubilee year, let him consume the field's produce for 2 years of crops, but only then return the field. Isn't it told the buyer, if the buyer consumes the field's produce for 1 year before the Jubilee year, if one sells this field before the Jubilee year, so the field produce for the initial year after the Jubilee year, Rabbi say for the Zemaim Hilchah Shemitah V'Yovel 11:12. You complete another year after the Jubilee year. The Gemara explains the cases are not comparable. There, the buyer already entered the field to consume the produce, therefore he completed the minimum of 2 years. I did not enter the field to consume the produce at all. The field immediately went to the seller. Rav Anan said, I learned 2 halachas from Master Shmuel. What was this halacha? That if one sells this field during the year, the sale is ineffective. And the other halacha concerns one who sells his Canaanite slave to Gentiles. If one sells a Canaanite slave to a Gentile, that slave is emancipated. Therefore, if he subsequently runs away from his Gentile master, his former master cannot reclaim him. This is the case even if the Gentile resides in Israel and observes the 7 Noachide mitzvot. Rabbi will say for Kinyan Hilchot Avodim 8:5 Shulchan Aruch Yehuda 780. Or to a Jew who resides outside of Eretz Yisrael. If one sells a Canaanite slave to a Jew who resides outside of Eretz Yisrael, even in Syria or Akko, the slave is emancipated. The court compels the slave's new owner to write a bill of manumission for the slave, and the owner forfeits the money that he paid for the slave. Even if he has not yet paid for the slave, he is required to pay the seller. The Shach said to the even if the buyer claims that he wishes to enslave him in Eretz Yisrael, we will not take the slave out of Eretz Yisrael because it's rejected, and the slave is emancipated. It's not compliant even today. From Sefer Kinyan Hilchot Avodim 8:6 Shulchan Aruch Yehuda 267:82. See the comment of the Baruch Hashem. That the slave is emancipated. A Canaanite slave is partially obligated to the fulfillment of mitzvot. By selling him to a Gentile, one prevents him from fulfilling the mitzvot, and by selling him to one who is outside of Eretz Yisrael, one prevents him from fulfilling the mitzvah done in Eretz Yisrael. The sages therefore decreed that the Jewish master must write the slave a bill of manumission after the sale. So if he runs away from the Gentile master, he would not be able to servitude under the Jewish master. And it continues, with regard to one of these halachot, Shmuel said that the sale is attractive and the money is refunded. With regard to one of them, he said the sale is not attractive and the buyer loses money, but I do not know in which of these cases, in which of the cases the sale is attractive, in which case it is not. Below Yadana Haimine Mina. Rashi states that the reason for Rav Anan's dilemma is not clear. It is obvious that with regard to the sale of a field in the Jubilee year, Shmuel rules that the sale is attractive and the money is refunded. Otherwise, there is no difference between the opinion of Shmuel and that of Rav. We maintain the sold field and yet returns immediately to the seller's possession. I should therefore explain that even if both Rav and Shmuel maintain that the money is not refunded, there are still differences between their opinions. The fact that Rav maintained that the sale took effect, while Shmuel maintained that the sale was invalid, in practical ramifications The fact that Rav maintained that the sale took effect, whereas Shmuel maintained that the sale was invalid, has practical ramifications. One ramification pertains to a case where the seller also sold movable property by means of sale of the land. According to Rav, the buyer acquired possession of movable property, whereas according to Shmuel, the buyer did not acquire it when the sale was invalid. Another ramification involves a situation where there were trees in the field and the buyer cut them down before returning the field to the seller. According to Rav, the buyer is not required to compensate the seller for damage to his field, and the sale took effect and the buyer cut down trees that were in his possession. According to Shmuel, as the sale was invalid, the buyer must compensate the seller for the loss of his trees. The Rosh rejects this assumption. He maintains that the buyer cannot cut down trees, even according to Rav, as possession of the field reverts to the seller immediately, and that's the sheet of Bechbesses. Rav Yosef said, let us see if it is possible to resolve Rav Anan's dilemma. It may be resolved from that which is taught in the Brisa. In the case of when a son is slave to a Jew out of very small, the slave is emancipated, but nevertheless required to build by abuse from the second master. Conclude from the Brisa as follows. Since the Brisa calls the second owner the slave's master and requires him to emancipate the slave, evidently the seller is not attracted and the buyer loses his money. And therefore, when Shmuel says that here that the field is not sold during the Jubilee year, he means that the sale does not take effect and the money returned to the buyer. That's the end of the Omen. I wish you a good day and peace in Israel. Take care. Bye.